So I've moved forward and I've marked out the feather slots at the other end as well. So we've got them both ends now. And so we've got a completed side, but we need to make another side which is the same. And also all these guidelines, they're just getting in the road. We don't need those anymore. So we might just delete those. So we go to edit and delete guides. All those guides will disappear, leaving just the side in place. And now we need to create a copy of this side and move that copy across the right distance from the other side to make the two sides of the box. So in order to do that, we're going to hit the space bar to get the selection tool. We're going to click on the side once. We're going to then press the M key, which creates the move command, and then we're going to press the option key, which creates a little plus sign, which means that when we move it, it actually becomes a copy. And the distance we're going to move, remember our box on the dimensions on the side there say the width of the box is 150 millimeters, but the thickness of the side is 14. So in order to make our box 150, we've got to move the side 150 minus the thickness of the box, which is 14, which makes 136. So we'll type in the number 136. You'll notice that the little dotted line that it's being copied along is green, indicating it's parallel to the green axis is what we want, and we hit the enter key. However, it's facing the wrong way, and we now need to turn it around. And we can do that quite easily by placing the cursor over that side now, control click, and we're going to flip along the green axis. And there you go, it's back to front, or it's back around the right way. So we have the two sides now. All we've got to do is draw the two ends. So we're going to go through the same process. So I'm going to go through one of them first, and we're going to go through redrawing those slots. So just to recap that, and then we're going to do the same again. We're going to copy it from one end to the other and then flip it around and align it. So we're going to use the R tool for rectangle. I'm going to connect to that corner there and go over to here, and I'm going to type in the number 14, comma 150, enter. Just going to remove this up a little bit so we can see the numbers down the bottom there. And P for push pull. I'm going to just push that right up to the top there. Now you'll notice now that I don't have to put a dimension in there. I just have to, I'll redo that again. If I push pull and then place the cursor onto the edge there, it aligns that side now, or end, with the side. It makes it exactly the same length. Makes it easy. We've also got the position of these rectangles already marked out for us. So later on we just have to line them up. We don't have to measure them out. However, what we do need to do is need to create this mitre. We also need to put the grooves in there. Okay, so before we do all that, we're going to take this, we're going to triple click on it, and we're going to make it a component. And we're going to call that the short side. We've got a point here for the to create the groove, so we're going to use a T tool, click on that and align it with there. That was easy. Move around with the orbit tool and do the same for the bottom. Click once and align it with the groove that's already there. And now we're going to open this in edit mode. So we're going to double click on that. And right now, these other sides are in the road. So there's a command that we can do, and we go up here to view, and we go down to component edit, and we click on this hide rest of model, and the rest of the model disappears. Okay, interesting. Guides have gone. Bugger, I didn't want that to happen. All right, we'll just put them on there again. T, tape measure, goes down 6 millimeters. And up 6 millimeters. Okay, so we just orbit around to the edge here now and zoom in, and we've got a point of reference to start drawing that rectangle. from that corner there across to here and down. Remember that was 6, 6, enter, and just push that right through to the other side, creating that top groove. Zoom out a little bit, go in and zoom in at the bottom. Again, we're going to go R, I'm going to click on that, we're going to go up, and we're going to type in the number 4, 6, and we're going to push that all the way through to the other side. Zoom out. We have the top and bottom groove. All we need now is to create that mitre. So we're going to click off edit mode, and we're going to, we've got a line here. We don't have to actually put guidelines anymore. We've already got a line here we can trace. So we're just going to use the line tool. We'll click from there to there to there to there to create that closed shape. Push it down past the bottom, pull it up past the top, bring it this way a little bit, move around to there using the orbit tool, push it this way a little bit, and triple click 1, 2, 3, make that a group. We're going to use the trim tool, which is this one here, click trim, and trim on that one, and delete. We've created that mitre there, we just need to do the same at that end. Turn around, and you can see that this one has lines on it that this one doesn't have because we've trimmed it. So we'll zoom in there. We're going to use this triangle here to draw the trimming shape. We're going to push that down, push it up. Now if you don't extend the shape past the component you're going to cut, it won't cut properly. So if you're having problems, it's probably because you haven't actually extended the shape past the point that the object exists in. So it needs to be outside of that shape. Triple click, make group. Use trim, select on this one, and then delete. So we now have a mitred cornered box, but we don't have the rectangles. Okay, now this time we're going to double click on that, but we want the other shapes there because we want to trace the rectangles directly onto this to create the feather cavities or spaces. So we're going to go back to view and unselect hide raster model, and you'll notice that you can actually look inside there, and you don't have to actually trace out the rectangles on it. We've got it already there. All you've got to do is draw a rectangle on that end bit from there to there. So we've actually got the short end piece selected, and we're using the long end piece to actually identify where the rectangle components start and finish. And we draw a rectangle across from there to there. And if we do that round the other side now, we'll zoom around, we can do that again. And what we've done is we've used the spaces that we've drawn on one component to identify where the rectangles should go to create the feathers on the other component, just by simply turning off the hide raster model. There's a little trick there. If you want to move the model around other than rotate, you can use H for hand, and it allows you to move that backwards and forwards like this by holding your finger on the track key. Alright, back to rectangle tool, click on that corner there, and there's one more to go. Corner to corner. Now, I've drawn all those rectangles. It would be useful now to remove these two components because I don't need them anymore for the rest of the drawing process. So we go back to view, component edit, hide raster model, and we've got those rectangles drawn there. All you got to do is push them through now and then trim them. So I'll push them through the other side. Not a good angle there to do that from, so I'll do that again. Push it through so it goes past the edges. So this process of using components that have already been drawn to help align or draw other parts of other components always speeds up this process. Now, before we cut these extensions off, remember we have to draw around them. So we're going to draw a line from there to there. And notice I'm going from this corner right to the back edge. So from that back edge to the right to this corner, I've done it on the top. Rotate and look from the bottom. I'll do it from the bottom. This makes that section that we're going to erase later on a separate part and not attached to the drawing anymore. And I'll rotate around to the back. Again, using the orbit tool, O for orbit. Line from there down to there. And I now can erase that. Now, I'm going to not draw that line here, just to show you the difference as if you don't actually draw that line, what happens. So when I click on that now, notice the whole side's gone because I haven't separated this component. But don't panic, we can actually undo that just by going Command Z. Draw the line. Now when we erase that component, it just erases the line that we want to erase, not the whole side. So in a situation where you've made a mistake, Command Z undoes that mistake and you can fix it up and repair it. Finally, draw that line down the back, endpoint to endpoint, erase the rest of the drawing. Notice that the surfaces disappear once the edge is gone. The surface needs to be surrounded by edges. That's one end, that's both ends. So I'll stop the video there, do this end, and then I'll start the video back again and show you what to do next.